Muy buenas tardes a todas y a todos. Bienvenido a esta sesión en el marco de lo que viene siendo la semana del Open Access, que vamos a presentar el día de hoy a las colegas Lian Ruan y Kelda Having, que nos van a presentar una ponencia intitulado Open Access Initiative at the Illinois Fire Service Institute Library. Bueno, me voy a permitir leer una breve hoja biográfica de la doctora Lian Ruan, que es Head Librarian and Director of International Program at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign Fire Service Institute Library. She has authored numerous publications and received multiple awards for her work, and has served as president and executive director of the Chinese American Librarian Association and on the International Federation of Library Association and Institution Information Literacy Standing Committee. Kelda Having is librarian at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, Illinois Fire Service Institute Library, where she has been since 2021. She received both her BAs and MLIS degree from the UIUC. Como les he explicado, la doctora y la maestra nos van a presentar Meeting Firefighters' Dynamic Needs in Response to Climate Change Disaster, Open Access Initiative to the Illinois Fire Service Institute. Thank you very much, both Dr. Lian Ruan and Master Kelda Having, for this opportunity to deliver to us this very interesting talk. I give you the floor, please.
Thank you for your invitation. We are so excited to be here to give this presentation. Just 1 minute, let me share the screen. All right. So as you may know, the impact of climate change on the fire service is huge. Actually, according to U.S. Fire Administration report, there are a couple of things actually you saw those kind of big changes. For example, increased responses to extreme weather emergencies, longer wildfire seasons, more emergency declarations, longer recovery phases, health, safety, and behavioral health concerns for personnel, a need for different skills and equipment, water supply insecurity, population migration. And if you look at the U.S. firefighter demographics, and as you can tell, even though we have over 1 million firefighters, but among them, 65% are volunteer firefighters. And then within Illinois, and as you can tell, as of 2021, there are over 40,000 firefighters, and we have among them, 62% are volunteers, and there are over 1,000 fire departments scattering across the Illinois, and Illinois is a big city. Actually, cost challenge actually for the library to do outreach services, especially for those firefighters in rural areas and also underdeveloped regions. And so because the firefighter is actually response to a wide, spectrum of emergencies, not just the firefighting, right? And then so the training requirement actually is very high, and comprehensive firefighter training is a must. And the firefighter profession itself is also high risk, involved with death and injury. So information to firefighters require accuracy and also very timely fashion. And on the other hand, it's a very interesting field because firefighters prefer textbooks. They use textbooks, for example, for promotion, and they want to have a physical books. And with physical books, you have to use interlibrary loan to reach them, right? So if we can mail to them, they have to mail back to us. And then on the other hand, firefighters may not be aware the resources available. They may think there is no library for them and they cannot count, because if they go to public library may not have a firefighting materials. Go to academic, they may not have it, right? So sometimes they may not even know there is a library or librarian who can help them. So marketing and outreach are very, very crucial. And it's also for libraries to help, firefighters, because they really need, and their need is also very, very dynamic. We are going to give you a couple examples to kind of showcase what kind of information they need and how we can help them. And during the crisis, I think from the literature, you can tell libraries are hubs during emergencies, for example, for enhanced resiliency and recovery efforts. And in US, Stanford Act 2011 clearly states libraries designated the essential community organizations. So libraries can help firefighters prepare for, respond to, and recover from extreme climate change emergency responses. And indeed, back to 1990, I established the Fire Service Institute Library to support the firefighters. At that time, I was a solo. And in the past decade, we worked very hard to develop our professional team. So now I have 4 librarians actually working in the library to support 42,000 firefighters. Still not a big team, but we're doing our best to help them. So the library is one of the largest fire academy library in the US, and we're the only fire-related or fire-dedicated library in Illinois. And we're the largest fire science multimedia collection in the state and also in the US. And the interlibrary loan system. So we joined the state library, our regional library system. So now we can work with the public library to reach firefighters no matter where they are through public library's interlibrary loan system. And then if they come to our library website, if they try to borrow books, for example, we are telling them where to find their public library. So we have that very extensive list, very easy for them to reach public library. And we also provide a very in-depth research assistance to firefighters and also fire science researchers. We have a research center for firefighter safety and health. And we also have other interested fire scientists on campus, off campus, reach us for questions. And the IFSI, the Illinois Fire Service Institute mission is to help firefighters to do their work through training, education, and research. As you can tell, for all those areas, training, education, information, and the research, library has a very, very important role here to play. And for the library mission, we have a very traditional mission here. So we identified our primary users are firefighters and emergency-related personnel. So we provide a service to them. And among this group, instructional staff, students, fire departments, and firefighters are our primary, the first, a group of users. And of course, we also provide services to other related fire emergency-related users actually throughout the world. In the past decades, and as I said, we tried so hard to work out outreach program, and we really count on our partnership. And also, we tried very hard to develop our partners at all levels. That we said at local with our own institute, our in-house support, and also with our big University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. They have very good resources. So we also work very closely with them. And as you know, we also have a School of Information Sciences, and we also work with our faculties, our PhD and graduate students. At the state level, as I mentioned, we have been a partner with the state library. We use their public library, regional library system for interlibrary loan. We also work with fire organization, academic library consortium. At a national level, we work very closely with National Fire Academy and American Library Association, Cal I will mention the grant we received from LA and also CALA and the JCLC, ASOA, National Library of Medicine, ACRL. At international level, actually, we also very much follow IFLA and work very closely with librarians around the world. There is an international fire library consortium called InFire. We have fire librarians from UK, from Australia, from Canada, you just name it. So that's really help our library expand our professional connection, also professional support, and on the other hand, also augment our collection so we can meet a firefighter's need anytime and at very, very timely fashion. And I will turn to second part of her presentation to Kelda, and she will give more examples in detail to showcase what we have done for firefighters.
Great, thank you, Leanne. So I'm just going to give you a few examples of the various initiatives that the IFSI library has done to support our firefighters. Next slide, please. First, the IFSI library and the IFSI archives is currently wrapping up work on our project titled Experience-Based Knowledge Management Initiatives to Support Illinois Firefighters' Dynamic Needs in Response to the COVID-19 Pandemic. This was a one-year grant through the Institute of Museum and Library Services American Rescue Plan grant to document the Illinois Fire Service and the IFSI response to the COVID-19 pandemic. During this project, we documented firefighter deaths from COVID-19 in our Illinois Firefighter Line of Duty Deaths Digital Image Collection Database, or IFLOD as we call it. We collected oral history interviews from Illinois firefighters about the pandemic. We documented the IFSI response to COVID-19 on the Illinois Digital Environment for Access to Learning and Scholarship, which is a digital collection database put together by the University of Illinois. And we also documented the Illinois Fire Department response to COVID-19 on the Illinois Digital Archives, which is a repository for the Illinois State Library, as well as other institutions across Illinois. Through this very successful project, we can see how great an example it is of how the IFSI library has partnered with other organizations such as Ideals and the Illinois Digital Archives to provide managed experience-based knowledge from firefighters. Next slide, please. In addition to this recent grant project, which added images to Ideals from the COVID-19 response in Illinois, the IFSI archives also just has a very large collection of images and items available on Ideals. So far, we've had over 209,000 downloads of our items, which are stored there. This collection includes IFSI and Illinois Fire Service history materials, IFSI's research, marketing, and videos, as well as historic brochures and newsletters from IFSI. And through our regular use of this repository, our work and our research is continuously available to the firefighters and scholars who need to access it. Next slide. Another grant which we just finished working on in August is the 6-month grant through the American Library Association, our Children Fire Safety Literacy Reading and Discussion Program. For this program, we purchased over 80 children's books related to fire safety, fire history, and day in the life of firefighters to teach children about how to stay safe from fires, as well as get them interested in and learn about the fire service. We provided these books to firefighters along with companion discussion guides, and the firefighters read the books to children in their community and then discussed the books with the children to really get them engaged in the program. Overall, it was really successful. We reached over 500 children, and additionally, we were able to provide copies of books which were used in the program to firefighters so they could continue the program in their own fire departments. And through this program, we also made significant connections to new fire departments and firefighters, as well as public libraries in Illinois. And will actively continue to foster and work with these new connections, which are so important to our mission. Next slide, please. Through this grant, we also created a children's fire safety and literacy LibGuide, which is publicly available through our website. Every book purchased for the program is listed here, in addition to example discussion questions and tips for firefighters who want to read books to children and need some examples of what to do during their program. You can also see over to the left there, circled in red, a tab for non-English and bilingual fire safety books. This was very important to our project overall, to get books in other languages than English. We have books now in Chinese, Spanish, and Polish, which are the 3 most commonly spoken languages in Illinois, other than English. And it's very important for us that children, no matter their language, have access to fire safety education. And we're very excited that we were able to purchase these non-English books. Next slide, please. So in addition to this most recent LibGuide on children's fire safety and literacy, we have quite an extensive list of other LibGuides on curated topics with resources and information on relevant other issues to firefighters or others who require emergency management and response information. These LibGuides listed here are also publicly available through our website, and all of our LibGuides are made possible and hosted through the University of Illinois Main Library. Last year, we had over 26,000 total views of our LibGuides. So these curated subject guides that we've made have really been able to reach quite a large population. Next slide. So next, I'll just give you a few examples of our most popular and relevant LibGuides we have. On the subject of climate change, we have our Wildland Urban Interface LibGuide. So with increased climate change emergencies, especially increased risk of wildfires, we feel that curating information on this topic will become increasingly as important as more firefighters want to learn and train for fighting these wildland urban fires. And we expect that those interested in this topic and views of this LibGuide will increase as climate change emergencies such as increased wildfires increase. Next slide. Our most popular LibGuide overall is our Significant Illinois Fires LibGuide, which discusses historic fires in Illinois that are well known and people might want to research. This LibGuide had over 13,000 views last year, and so far this year we've had over 11,000 views. So we can see through the popularity of this LibGuide that our LibGuides really reach a large number of people, and they can be really powerful tools for getting access to our information and resources out to those who need them. Next slide. And finally, the last LibGuide page I'll show you is our How to Use the IFSI Library Information Literacy for Firefighters LibGuide. The IFSI Library provides information literacy training to firefighters using a variety of strategies. So this LibGuide walks firefighters through how to use the library's resources and search for the information they need. In addition to this LibGuide, we have one other LibGuide dedicated to the IFSI website. We have a Pathfinder for how to search for information, and we also provide information literacy training in person at the library or 2 classes at IFSI. And through this information literacy training, we hope to get firefighters the information that they need as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Next slide, please. And in addition to our work with firefighters in the United States and Illinois, the IFSI Library also has a strong international outreach services program. The IFSI international programs have offered multiple courses to international students, online, in person at IFSI, as well as outside the United States. In addition to courses that the international program has provided, the program also includes the Chinese Librarian Scholarly Exchange Program and the Visiting Scholar Program. The purpose of international outreach services is to help strengthen IFSI's status in the international firefighting community and to facilitate mutual learning and information exchange across the world. And through this information exchange, we've built a viable global community that is still continually being developed and new members added to help firefighters and scholars get the information and training that they need. Next slide. So on this slide, you can see specific training support for firefighters that the IFSI International Outreach Services has provided. You can see some of the programs listed here, as well as where they've taken place, such as Hong Kong, other places in China, and how many firefighters have participated in each of the trainings. To the right there, the top picture that you can see is our Assistant Director, David Ehrenhart, providing instruction to international scholars. And the image beneath is IFSI Hazmat training, which occurred in 2015 to students located in China. Next slide. So from 2006 to present, the IFSI library has built a very large, strong community of 785 of individuals. That includes librarians, scholars, students, and first responders. 207 organizations are represented in this community, including libraries, universities, research institutes, and other fire organizations. We're very proud of the breadth and strength of our international programs, and we're continuously looking to grow our international community. Next slide, please. So the IFSI library has identified several further areas of expansion for research and grant-funded projects, which will further expand and elevate our work with and understanding of the fire service community. No matter our research or grant project goals, which you can see specific examples of listed on this slide, the most important thing is fostering collaboration and partnerships at all levels, from local to international. This is key to the continued success of our research and grant work. And next, I'll provide a couple examples of our specific research and grant focuses. Next slide. So one of the IFSI library specific research projects, which we've recently begun to work on, is the information literacy and information behavior of firefighters. While we do provide information literacy training to firefighters, we want to understand more about firefighters' information literacy skills and knowledge. Specifically, we want to assess the success and paths of future work in our own information literacy training program. And we're currently working on the development of a survey to further understand this topic. Example questions will include: how has information literacy helped firefighters pass exams or be promoted? How has information literacy helped them succeed in their jobs? And what do firefighters already know about information literacy, like knowing what information is needed when, how to access this information, and how to incorporate new information into what they already know. Following the survey, we plan to do follow-up interviews to explore this issue more in depth. Next slide. And one really exciting grant application, which we just submitted and which is pending, is our grant proposal, Libraries as Partners for Emergency Preparedness and Response in Times of Crisis. This will be a 2-year preliminary investigation project to identify the types and extent of community partnerships of crisis. This would be founded through the Institute of Museum and Library Services National Leadership Grants for Libraries program. This project will be guided the whole way through a strong network of state and national advisors. And specific project activities will include a survey to the Illinois library community in the first year of the grants, and 2 community engagement roundtable discussions with national participants in the second year of the grant to elevate our survey findings to a national level and make them usable by multi-type libraries and organizations across the country. Next slide, please. So specifically, libraries as partners goals include investigating the scope and nature of partnership, empowering libraries to take their place as providers during emergencies, and to develop a framework for research to explore best practices in library partner collaborations. So we've already discussed the important role of libraries during emergencies. However, many community response organizations are not aware of the roles that libraries can and should play during emergency preparedness and response. So this project will be crucial to make community partners aware of what libraries can do in emergencies and to make libraries themselves aware of what role they can play. This will lay the framework for further understanding of what it means for libraries to be partners. And following the successful completion of this grant, we plan to conduct further in-depth research on this topic. Next slide. And as I said before, to ensure this project will be broadly applicable across the country to libraries of all types and community partners on a national advisors that you see here. State partners will help ensure diverse representation in and response to our year one survey in the state of Illinois. And national advisors will help elevate the survey results, discussion during the community engagement roundtables, and deliverables to a usable national level. Next slide. So in conclusion, what does open access mean for firefighters, and how can our OA initiatives further support firefighters' unique information needs related to climate change emergencies? These are questions that we at IFSI Library will continue to investigate through research and practice to find new ways to meet firefighters' information needs. We already know how unique and varied firefighters' needs are, whether they are training, studying for an officer's exam, conducting research into emergency response and management, or providing fire safety education in their communities. The IFSI Library's past and current projects have laid the groundwork for proven strategies for reaching out to the fire service community and have revealed areas of further expansion of our research and services. And as the fire service responds increasingly to climate change emergencies, it's crucial that the IFSI Library and other libraries work to provide continued access to the key information they need to do their job. Next slide, please. From Leanne and myself, thank you very much for attending this presentation. We'd be happy to answer any further questions you have now or in the future about the IFSI Library and how libraries can help firefighters prepare for and respond to climate emergencies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leon and Kelda, for this magnificent and enthusiastic presentation. Really, I'm very, very surprised because all the work you have done, and not only the work, the inside work at the library, but also how to promote the firefighters and also the prevention of fires. And that is really, really fantastic to see. And also how community is engaged with the firefighters. So they can be readers, but also at the same time, how firefighters are going to give some lectures and be involved with the young kids. And that's magnificent, because mostly those are the one who will engage and give the further information to their parents and to their relatives, how to prevent and how to do and how to use the firefighters activities and how to be engaged with the whole community. I'm impressed with all the work you have done with only 4 or 5 librarians at a big stage, and also the research project that you are engaged with. I'm very impressed, and really this initiative, and it is a marvelous way to say thank you. And as I see, there is no connection with Mexico, but there is a connection with Brazil. What is the reason of What can be the reason of that?
Actually, we don't know. I think Brazil fire investigators found us on the website. And the same thing with South Korea guy, firefighter found us on the website. And we keep receiving international requests actually through our website, so web mail, not kind of like they know us or they know library. So I think web technology is really important to help us reach out because we really don't know who may need us, right, internationally. Locally, I think even locally, as I mentioned, Illinois is a big state, and I think we try very hard to find a way to reach firefighters to serve them, right? But then it's really challenging to get there. So now with technology, computer, website, email, so I think it really give a library a wing to fly better, so we can really reach them and also be there when they need us. But still, we feel like there is a long way, even though the library has been trying so hard in the past decades, have done so much. We still feel there is a long way for us to keep doing this and also do better. So that's also why we want to do research, because research gave us more evidence, gave us a way to think better. And also we trying very hard to identify what made us made our service more successful. For example, IFLA databases is we collect firefighters' experience-based knowledge, right? That also prompt us realize, the experience-based knowledge is so important for firefighters. You cannot find in any publications. So you have to work with the firefighters, gain their trust, so you can do interview, you can get knowledge out of their brain, and also get permission to organize them and also make accessible. So now for that database, we have a firefighter instructors used for training. We have a fire department used for training. We have researchers used for grants, used for research. So as you can tell, it's a very powerful way. I think users taught us. I think users themselves actually are source of the library, source of the materials. Actually, maybe that's why they need more, but they don't know. But I think that's why the librarian can play a crucial role, because we can organize. We know how to organize information. We know how to make information accessible. So I think this is a perfect match and a perfect collaboration between users and the librarians. So it's no longer librarian push out the services from librarians' perspective. It's user tell us what they need, and then we work together. So I think we continue going in that direction right now. So we are very much engaged with our user community. We have advisor committee members from our user fire department. So they are our eyes and ears for the local needs. Every year they will tell us how we have been doing and what else we need. So I think, again, I think we are very much emphasize user-centered library management. And that's why we are existing here. So we're here for users. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful to hear all the community that is really engaged, and it's not only a work for the firefighters, but how community is engaged with the work and also engaged with the preparation and with the knowledge of librarians at a very, very special library, academic library. And so there Kilda, you talk also about a repository that you have, and I wonder, because I see some picture that is some photograph. This is when the fire is devastated a region, and how also is going to devastate at the moment another region, and I want to know how many volumes of what kind of information items can we reach at your repository? There is photographs, there is document, and what other kind of items we can reach at your repository?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head the total number of items we have there, but a lot of them are the images of firefighters, of brochures from the IFSI Fire College since the Fire College started, research from the Institute, you know, so much stuff. I don't know off the top of my head the total number of items, but it's quite a bit.
Okay, thank you. And afterward, I'm really interested to have the link where we can address ourselves and go in and to see your repository and all the items you have there. And also, we want to really know much more. This is a little bit of your library, your special academic library. And so it will be very nice to keep on this conversation and to see more of your library and all the magnificent work that you are doing. I'm going now to our staff to see if there is any other questions. Ellie, do we have some questions?
No, ninguna.
Okay, thank you very much. And so they are telling me there's no question, but we are really we appreciate very much your talk, your dedication, and always it's good to have colleagues and to know what they are doing at the library, at that department, and really a big hand for all your staff, Leanne, Kelda, and it was really nice to have you today at our open access talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I don't know if you have any other item, information, or that data to share with us.
We will send you more information later on by email, so you can have those. And then I also hope down the road, we may have some collaboration to do together with your country and with your firefighters there.
Okay, thank you very much. And sure, we will keep on going, ongoing this conversation. And thank you very much and we appreciate it really. And my director sent you a big hug, and you're always welcome to our institute for collaboration and for exchange.
Yes, thank you. We look forward to that. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.